Howdy there, Desert Maverick here, and we're going to go over some unarmed stuff that you may or may not know about. But also, a quick thing is that if you upgrade your Greymane camp for the second time, you will find something new over by the far west side of the encampment. And what you will see is a fenced-in area over here. And you can see as it comes into the view, there is a wooden man sitting there. And there is a training dummy in this game. And the cool thing about it is that he acts like your light enemies in the game. So I'm going to go over a couple of things real quick about unarmed combat that you may or may not know. So the things that you will most likely know is that your light combo string, just like that, does 3 attacks, and that is it. Your heavy attack string, just like that, hold down the right trigger and you get those 3 sets of attacks. And then you have your right trigger and right bumper, or L1 and R2, which causes you to use Spirit. Now we're going to get a little bit of Spirit up because we are going to eventually use Spirit here in the combo video here. So some of the light things that you can do is you can string things together. There's also now the Y buttons, which you need to upgrade using the skill tree here. There are a couple things you're going to need to have in this build, and I'm going to go over them real quick. And that is, you need to get stab to level 2. You might be thinking, well, stab, that's for your sword. However, if you use the Y button or triangle button on your controller, you'll see that it gives you access to Flying Punch, and Flying Punch's upgrade, Rising Dragon. And then you'll also want to get things like Vault. Vault's very important because it will allow you to do suplexes on opponents. Unarmed combat to 5 is a must. Grappling to 5, you want to do that as well because you can do grappling things out of your combos as well, like in their OTG states or off the ground, for those who are not savvy fighting game people. And those are pretty much the things you're going to want to have. There aren't really much that you want to unlock outside of imbuement. You want element imbuement for you might want it for Meteor Kick or Force Palm. I don't have it on those yet. I probably should get them, but there are things that you can do in your combos to help deal damage to enemies. So the other things that we're going to go over are that once you get the unarmed combat to the sufficient level, which is 3, which gives you proficiency, you'll be able to fully combo with your Y attacks. And so you get just a normal string of attacks that result in a trip, and then another attack into a shoulder slam. And that does a knockdown on them. So, there's also moves you may not have seen, and the game doesn't tell you about. So, like your right bumper, even though it does light attacks, you can do different light attacks if you pair them with a different button. So right bumper and B does the spinning kick. It doesn't knock them down or anything. And then right bumper A is a roundhouse kick. So you can just roundhouse kick people. And you also, as you can see, it will train into enemies that are knocked out. So now, you'll see as you do this punch that you want that second punch and a lot of that light combo, because it will allow you to do many different things. So like you can do 2 light attacks. So after you get those punches in, then you can do like your Y combo after that. So and you get that knockdown. So 2 lights and then into your Y string gives you knockdown into hard combo knockdown. And this is actually very effective against even bosses. Some bosses you can just straight up trip up and knock them on the ground and give them a ground state. Some other things that you can do here is you can also weave in your fire your flame strike. So like you can sit here and do this, just like that. Pretty neat and effective. I did a strong attack to get it to close the gap. So you know, 2 light attacks. Why? You can just combo straight into that if you want. But the thing about unarmed combat is that you can OTG so many ways. You can knock them on the ground into a hard knockdown and then OTG them in many, many, many different ways. So you can do things like knock them on the ground here. And that stuff just still hits them while they're getting up. The other thing that the reason why you want to get the upgrade for the stab is that, of course, you can just charge this and you'll punch. However, if you just press it, it'll come out much faster. And then if you press Y and right bumper or triangle and R1, and then you let go of Y and hold down the trigger, the right bumper or the L1, you'll do the Shoryuken. So just like that. So if you do right bumper Y or R1 and triangle and then hold down the L1 button and let go of triangle or Y, you will do the Shoryuken. Really cool, huh? Alright, and then there's another thing that you can do when you're in that, and that is that if you do right bumper and Y, and then you hold forward and let go of the buttons, you'll do a knee that will knock them back. Just like that. Pretty nice, and it's really effective against hitting them against the wall. So you'll hit them against the wall and they wall bounce into a knockdown state. It's really cool. They like knock them into the wall, and then you can do shit like elbow them. It's really neat. You can even like grab them. Just like that. It's really cool. There's another thing that you can do in this game as well, but I don't use it very often, is that if you have your bow out, you can still do attacks. You can still roundhouse with the bow out. And if you have like infinite arrows and explosive arrows, it's pretty decent at like just like a get off me tool, and then you can press your evasion button twice into the evasion shot, which is pretty cool if you've got evasion shot. So like you just kick, press the evasion twice, and bam, you're doing arrows into him after a kick. Alright, let's reset them. Get out of here. So you can kind of do like almost an infinite as long as you've got the stamina to do it. So like you can keep doing like the Shoryuken. And then when you get them to the wall, you can hold them against the wall and throw them out. One of the things that like I said, one of my bread and butter combos are pretty much like 2 light attacks into Y. So you can even hold the Y button during those 2 attacks. So like if you've ever played a fighting game where you can hold inputs, usually like charge characters and like Street Fighter are very notorious for it, where like you would do attacks and then you can hold down the charge, and during those attacks that charge still holds. So like you can do 2 light attacks into those kicks, into your dual kick, which is really, really cool. And if you put them into the wall, you can then do into Shoryuken. and then combo them out. It's such a great fighting style that I like it more than using like the swords and all that stuff, because like you can do things like your charged attack here like this and bam, which is really cool. That's actually one of the coolest things. If you let go of it at the right time, it will do that attack animation. And you kind of just play around with it. Once you know like the button combinations, you can just play around. Like it's very light on difficulty when it comes to like just stringing stuff together. And you remember that you can always put Flame Strike into your attacks, so you can really live out your like Ken and Ryu fantasy and in this game. Where did the training dummy go? Oh, there he is. Let's put you over here, my guy. So yeah, like anything can be comboed. Just like that. It's fun and interesting. And that's pretty much a breakdown of the martial arts system in the game, or the Unarmed. You know, some of these aren't like fully realized, but like your right bumper A kick there, you can actually combo into that too. So now remember that your weapons for Unarmed are going to be your gloves and your boots. Now if you're wanting to do an Unarmed run, you're going to need to upgrade your gloves and your boots, because those are the attack for your Unarmed attack. Like you can see down below, attack, Combat God, plate gloves, 44, plate boots of the shadows, 41. So if you're wanting to do the full suite of it, you're going to need to keep those upgraded. If you just want to do punches, then like your light, your strong attacks are all going to be like your things that you use. There's very little kicks outside of like just doing like that kick there or this kick there. I also suggest getting these gloves here, these Combat Gods plate gloves, because they have lightning affinity on them. And you'll see at the bottom there, that little circle that's going around, that is the charges that I have for my gloves. And they trigger on any melee attack that I do with my hands. So like you'll see when I punch, it uses a charge. Now, the cool thing is that you can have an electrified Shoryuken if you do it as the first two attacks. So, doing this, and it's electrified, Shoryuken. And it's really cool at like stunning enemies as well. And you can just keep practicing with it around, even with like enemies. You can sometimes get enemies to spawn, like the bandits on the road, especially like north of the Greymane camp. Sometimes you can get them to spawn out there if you don't have the training dummy yet. If you want to get to the training dummy quicker, you have to do all of your Greymane quests. Start doing all the Greymane quests, and you'll eventually get to the point where you get to unlock the second time for the Greymane camp. And then the second time you upgrade, you'll have the training dummy here. And you can come out here and you can practice all of your unarmed combat skills, to your heart's desire. And yeah, it's an amazing setup and system, and again, it's my favorite like combat system in the whole game. It's just, you know, Also, if you get it, you can get that jump in the air. Yeah, flying kick's pretty nice too. And you can do like double jump. Pretty cool. Anyways, I hope that helps you guys out, and happy combo trials.